Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So it's Wednesday, so it's Junk Journal project, and I'm going to continue with making ephemera for a flower fairy journal that I'm planning on putting together. So I've been making lots of things, and so I made these. A bit of glare there. They're journaling cards. Very, very simple. I've got this paper, and it's got this pattern on the back, which I thought, well, you could follow those lines for writing on your journals, and the colour matches really well this little fairy. How beautiful is she? I just love her. So I went through and picked out other bits of paper that I got in the same style to find ones that will fit. For this one, I didn't have a sheet this big, so I used a different sheet, and then I just had this one panel, so I just put it as a panel on the back for writing on. So love that. Love Lily of the Valley. I used to go to a convent school, primary school, and our summer uniform was pale blue with lilies of the valley all over them. So very fond of that. Always makes me think of my mother, because she made our dresses. So yeah, always had the fabric all over the house. There were 3 girls. We all had to, well, to be fair, she tended to only ever have to make 2, because by the time I needed to wear them, I'd grown into, the others had grown out. So yeah, how cool's that? So this paper, I've got 5 packs, and they are the Stampin' Up! Colour family. So that's the current in colour, the 2021 to 2023 in colour colours there. This is the neutrals, that's the regals, and then we've got the brights and the subtles. So I've got 50 different shades there, 50 shades of colour, not grey. And I've got my flower fairy book, so it was just a matter of going through. I've got a different idea for that one. Going through and picking out a fairy that I liked, and then finding a colour that would fit. And I have got lots of colours to choose from. I've got those ripped out. What are they ripped out for? Because the purple. Quite simply, they're ripped out because they're purple, Jez. So, woo! That's a bit of a craft disaster there. That was balanced precariously. So, that one, I think looking there, that one will go nice there with that fresh freesia. Have I got the fresh freesia with the line on the back? I have. So you get 2 different designs in these packs. You get those are the 2 designs that you get. So it's this, the lines on the back, that I thought worked really well, and I think that goes quite well, doesn't it? I was thinking that Highland Heather might work, but as that was just there, difficult to tell with this white background. I'd have to trim it down. So those are my possibilities. That doesn't have the lines on the back. I don't think I've got that sheet, so I'd have to do what I did before, which was to add a panel. So we'll keep them as a possibility. And then this one is a slightly different shade there of purple, and it might be better to match it to the green rather than the purple. Although I do. I think that's too dark. There. I do like matchy matchy. I think that's too dark. So that's no good. No good at all. And we've got 2 dark different shades of purple in here. We've got Blackberry Bliss and Rich Raspberry. Rich Raspberry completely wrong. Blackberry Bliss. It's not right either. No, that one's not going to work. I would have to match the green, and I'd be inclined to go into here and pick out, there's Pear Pizzazz, and I think that one with a bit of vintaging would pick out that green nicely, so might be going for that. So that is what I decided to do, and I thought it was a good use of this paper because it's going to retire at the end of April. So I've got quite a lot there, lots and lots of uses. I can make some envelopes and all sorts with it, and I like the idea of putting some colour into my junk journals. Now that daffodil, I've got this paper that's called Daffodil Afternoon. This is a freebie in Celebration, so you get this pack of 12 by 12 sheets that are all double-sided, 6 designs, 2 sheets of each. And so we've got this daffodil paper, but there's one that's all daffodils. Let me find it. That one. And there was a bit of me thinking that that might look quite nice. A few daffodils in the back, might fussy cut some as well and have them on as accents. But that was a bit of an idea I had for it. Yeah, because that one's not quite right. That one's not right. Yeah, it would have to be that one. And then I'd have to, I could get the yellow sheet out of the other packs to do the lines on the back. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts that I'm going to go with. Love that sheet. How beautiful is that? That's going to go in my Alice in Wonderland, I think, because it's kind of the right colours. That's another one on my list. I've got a list in my head of junk journals that I want to make, and I need to just get them started. So that's why I'm quite happy to sort of find really quick projects like this. So just going to move that humongous sheet out of the way for a minute. So let's get this sized down. So very simply, this has got like a frame around it. What's on the other side? Oh, it's cute. Not as cute as there though. I'm gonna just use my ruler, put it on the edge there of the frame and ripping it off. They're not necessarily all the same size, so in terms of sizing it does depend on the size of the picture. It's just an idea. You might have other images that you would like to highlight on a journaling card. This is just an idea. So I like to put the name of the fairy on, because we want to know what the fairy's called. And sometimes have I done them all on? Oh no, these are all. So I didn't bother with the name under it. It didn't matter because it had Lily of the Valley on that one already. But on these, so I just stuck them like that. But some of them I've split up. So like I've done the words separately. But for now, I'll just do that. I think on this one, I'm likely to just put it there. That would work. Throwing this away, it's too shiny. I wouldn't use it for anything else. If it was a nice vintagey looking, non-shiny edge with a lovely caramel colour, so I would have kept it, but I'm not. So I keep going down there. I've got something leaning on my bin that I really need. So now we're down a bit. We can get closer to the colour. We can make a decision. I do actually think that one I do think that one. Put that one back. Don't want you. Don't want you. So I kind of like a bit of straight edges, so I sort of eyeballed it, used my trimmer, trimmed it down, and that was it. I'm not added anything with the gluing of it. It was stiff enough for a journaling card that's going to go in a pocket or an envelope, so that was good enough for me. So if I'm going to put that in there like that, gonna cut it down about there. There we go. And I did it when it was a smaller. Did I do it a little bit longer at the bottom? No, I didn't. I did it exactly as it was. So then just eyeball in, go across there. That was it. That'll do me. Don't need those bits now. Putting them back. Not really put them away. Don't be thinking that I've gone all tidy or anything. They have just been shoved in the paper box and they're not back in their packets at all. So I'm going to take a bit of crumb cake, I think, for making it a bit vintaging. So got my blending brush, probably go around the edges in soft suede, but so simple, so quick. Sometimes that's what you want, isn't it? Something simple and quick. You might only have a free half hour, do a bit of crafting, which is precisely where I am today. Free half hour. Didn't do any crafting yesterday because I was far too busy with a job that pays real cash money. So I had to do that. I do a little bit of something that pays real cash money, just a couple of times a year for a couple of weeks. It pays for the holidays, and then the rest of my time I can craft and more craft. So yeah, spent the whole day until my head exploded doing some money stuff. There we go. So quite like that. So now it sort of changes the colour a little bit. That's cool. Like that. Once. I want to just go around the edges of this a bit, take away some of that white. I know some people are like, oh, you're cutting up a beautiful flower fairy book. I've got another one. I have one that I bought, I think when my first baby was little. And yeah, that one's intact, don't worry. They're not old, they're not vintage, they're beautiful. You can get them in lots of places, so I'm not too worried. I found in a charity shop, which is where I bought these, some decoupage sheets. They're not the ones that are die cut, they're the ones you cut out yourself. So the Scan and Cut's been very busy cutting those out. So they'll be featuring at some point. There we go. Ready to go there. And then I'm going to just add a few little bits of stamping on this. and it'll be done. There we go. So bit stamping, so excuse me reaching. We want a bit of dotting. Always want a bit of dotting. Remind myself, what else did I do? Oh, I did do a bit of flowering. Bit of dotting, bit of flowering. So I'm just using Quiet Meadow on this one. Makes life a little bit easier, doesn't it? So I quite like that. I think this flower sort of works for most of the images. You're not going to see very much on that because that's going on top. But you can see a little hint of it. And then we'll put some on the back where we're going to journal. There. Cool. That'll do me. So now we just got to glue it together. And that. Oh, I've put my espresso in my soft suede hole. Right, there we go. Oh, I'm not very good at putting things away, but I have been putting that way. So I'm using Collall because if you've watched me before, I've said this lots of times. This is solvent glue, and when it dries, it adds some extra stiffness. So it is a bit like you've upped the GSM or poundage if your paper's measured in pounds. So as this is just a picture from a book going on a bit of DSP, which is probably about 160, it will make it feel more like it's 250 by the time you're finished, I reckon. Maybe 200. There's me a little bit. I have so much glue, it's unreal. I'm quite obsessed by glue. I have glues for all sorts of different reasons, and I like to make sure I have got sufficient quantity so that I'm not going to run out. And I have lots of different glue bottles that they get decanted in. And there's my lovely little pin. I love it. Got it for Christmas. Makes me feel like a proper crafter now, because I've got a little pin with a beady jangle. Right. So that is as simple as that. That is it, done. That is all I did to create a beautiful card, journaling card. So I'm going to make the others. I might do that, speed it up. So there they're done. And I managed to lose where I've got the slow fairy. And I even watched the video back after diving in my bin to see if I'd scooped it up, and I then watched the video. I didn't scoop it up. I kind of put it up there somewhere, but I can't see it. I'm sure it'll turn up. So I just thought I'd do a couple of daffs. Thought I'd just cut them out of paper, and it's not the same colour yellow. I don't think that matters. So I just thought I'd quickly, thought I might put one on the other side. That might look cool, might not, because the colour is a tad different. So I might just put one on the front. I'll cut one out and then we'll see. And I'm not doing this necessarily that carefully. I'm not doing it that carefully. There's no necessary about it. There we go. Now I've cut it out, don't like it. Typical of me. I might put it on there. Might give it a little bit of grunge. Not going to do another. Gonna leave it at that. Might put it up in the corner there. No, I won't. I'll put it down there, looking up. I was looking for a daffodil stamp, but I don't appear to have one. I thought I had one in an Easter set, and then turns out it was tulips. So there we go. I always associate daffodils with Easter, and as it was an Easter set, obviously that translated in my brain that they were daffodils, but they're not the tulips. I do associate tulips with Easter as well, but not as much as I do daffodils. There we go. So that's my quick projects. So don't know how long I've been, because I did time lapse, so I'm not really sure. So that's 3 made. Obviously I did time lapse. Yeah, so I've now got 6 altogether. I think they're so cool. Love them. And I love having all these wonderful Stampin' Up colours that I can use to match to the fairies. They are so cute and perfect. So yeah, hope that was useful. Hope I give you some ideas for using up your paper, add in pictures you might have. You know, if you get lots of digital kits, they often have sort of big sort of journaling card things like this. It's a good way of turning them into a journaling card. So yeah, so I'll be back next week. I've got an idea that I did that extended this, so I'll bring you that next week. Okay, bye for now.